booties for black girl nerds.
Time.
Hit the got it here. Okay.
Well, I thank you. This is exciting for me because for Masked Singer, I usually talk post the show and after the reveal. So I'm excited that I get to do this ahead of time.
Yeah.
So I went down the rabbit hole and I was thinking, Melissa Joan Hart, when have I seen her sing? So I went down the rabbit hole and I found this is what Nana means.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that one.
Do you remember any of that singing or making that? Because I know it was done in character, but do you remember any of that?
I did. I think we recorded that in New York City on a hiatus from Clarissa. I totally forgot I did that album. Oh my gosh. Because on Sabrina, I sang in an episode where I drank a bottle of talent and had to sing one way or another, but I refused to sing it live in front of the crew. I was afraid I'd be too embarrassed because it's like literally singing in front of people is like a nightmare of mine. But I think with something like that, and also I did a song for Sabrina Down Under. I did a remake of the Beatles' Octopus's Garden. And I think that with that and with Nana, with the Clarissa album, I was in the studio. So it was like a safe place. I knew they were going to fix it. You know, I knew they were going to like be able to take the best parts and I could try again and they'll help me make sure I hit the right notes. So it felt a little safer to be in a studio and sing, but singing live in front of people is not my thing. I've only done it once before in a karaoke charity event that Idina Menzel threw. So this was only the second time I've ever sang in front of people, but it really helps to have the mask and all the costume and nobody know who you are.
I like that. I love the whole concrete fear. I saw Idina once on the carpet and, we know she is renowned for her voice. And I asked her, do you rap? Because she had her children with her. And she said, no, absolutely not. So, maybe Masked Singer has to get her on, try to have her rap it or something.
That'd be funny. I know there's so many fun ways to play with this show. And, when they asked, I was like, at first my brain went, hell no, I'm not doing that. Then I was like, no, I have to. Like, I always think you regret the things you don't do. So I definitely was like, if this scares me and it's not going to kill me, I'm going to do it. The whole thing is like, there's different kinds of fear, right? There's the fear of like embarrassing yourself. And then there's the fear of like falling off a mountain, there's like real fear. So I was like, you have to kind of replace the fear with excitement. And my husband went with me to LA when I was filming Masked Singer. He kind of held my hand through the whole thing, brought me out to LA, was there for me so I could like, sing loud or scream or cry or whatever I needed to do to freak out about this whole thing. And he gave me the best advice. He said, if you're not having fun, what the hell are you doing? And I was like, that's true. Like, when am I ever going to put this costume on again and sing this song in front of people with all these cameras and lights and, special effects, confetti falling, so I was like, I have to enjoy this. This is never, it's like your wedding day in a way. You're going to put that outfit on one time, hopefully, and you're going to, then you're going to do this, you're going to have this one experience and you're never going to get that back again, so I had to really make sure I enjoyed it because otherwise, what the hell am I doing there?
Absolutely. I like the costume. It's beautiful. I've been looking at the speculation online because people know that there's a contestant coming. No idea. Wide range of guesses, everywhere from Brandy to just all kind of guesses. What's on the song list since I haven't seen you perform yet? So what's on the song list?
The song that I did, the theme was space. It was a space theme. And at first I really wanted to do Katy Perry's E.T., but they couldn't get the rights to it. But I had already worked that up a little bit in my head because I thought I could like be breathy and like nobody wants to be compared to Katy Perry. She's got a phenomenal voice. But I thought with that song, I could be a little sexy, a little breathy, a little, kind of speak it a little bit more than sing it. But I couldn't do that one. So I started going through a Spotify list of all like space themed songs and came across Venus. And so I sang Venus. It was really fun. It was the perfect kind of like campy, fun, cheesy, very repetitive song. So I didn't have to learn a whole lot of lyrics. It was a song I knew, so it was already stuck in my head. So it was really the perfect song for me to sing. But then I go to the Battle Royale and I had to sing Rocket Man. And I'm sorry, but nobody but Elton John should sing that song. That is not a song. I am not a singer.
That's a hard one for sure.
Oh my gosh, I am not an accomplished singer. I think the person I was up against might be an accomplished singer because they had a whole like their own rendition of the song. And I was just trying to sing like Elton does, because that's all I've ever heard. I don't know how to do it any differently. But the person I was up against kind of like seems like they had some training, because they knew where to go with that song and I did not. And so it was, but actually it's probably the only time on a game show or anything where because I'm a pretty competitive person. It was probably the first time I've ever been like, as they're voting, they're like, all right, who's going home? I'm like, please let it be. Please let it be me. Let it be me. Instead of like, let me win. I'm like, let me go home. Let me be done. Let me not have to sing again. I did it. I accomplished it. I'm done. So
Out of you, even with the mask, it takes a lot of bravery because, some people get in front of crowds and the throat just tightens up. And even with anything over you, it's a big, big deal.
it
So
was hard not to like, lose your breath just because of the nerves, or like lose your voice. Like I was so worried. What happens if I just can't get anything out? What happens if I vomit on stage? What happens if I fall in that with that huge thing on my head? So there was a lot of fear behind it, but at the end of the day, I had to go, this is just fun. Just move, dance, enjoy it, belt it, sing it loud, hit the wows. I have this whole like wow thing I have to do in that song. And it was just fun to be able to scream, and it was fun. I
I
had a really
love
good
that.
time.
I love that. Tell me about your podcast. I understand you have a podcast called What Women Binge. Tell me about that, because I'm always looking for good stuff to binge. And what are you
Oh.
covering in this show in addition to recommendations? And what are we talking about?
Well, during COVID, I feel like the conversation really turned to everybody saying, like, I was on a group text where we started a spreadsheet of like, I need a new show, I need a new book. What podcast are you listening to when you go on walks with your dog? So I was like, you know what? This would be a great Instagram page. So I started an Instagram page of little reviews. And then I was like, this would actually be a great podcast. So my friend and I decided to do it, just talking things out with each other. And at first we had a lot of guests on. So it's been going on for over a year now, and every Wednesday we have a new one. So we've had over 60 episodes.
Wow.
So, in the beginning, it was always a guest. We always had a guest on to tell us not only about their project that they did, whether it was a wrestler or a musician or an actress, talking about their body of work, but really what we wanted to hear from them was, what are they into? What can they tell us about what show? Patricia Heaton, is she really into true crime shows? Or is like Candace King from Vampire Diaries is really into her Real Housewives, like, so what are people binging? What's their happy place? And just giving us some like reviews on things. But it's kind of gone the span of everything. Like with the Nashville tragedy that happened just a few weeks ago, we decided we had to talk about that. We're here in Nashville, we're in the middle of it. I witnessed some of it, and I wanted to talk about it. So we talked about that. So that's probably one of the ones where we went kind of into a little bit more of a sadder tone, but for the most part, it's very light. It's very fluffy. We talk about everything from Jesus Revolution to Outlander to sexy stuff to date. We had my 10-year-old on to talk about Stranger Things because he's obsessed. So he became our kind of resident expert on Stranger Things. And we've had some friends in to talk about the Daisy Jones and the Sixth show after we read the book, and then we compared it to the movie or the show. And so, stuff like that. So just covering the gambit of entertainment and possible content.
Mm-hmm. That is brilliant. I even just the title, in the simplicity of the title, people are always looking for recommendations, and just the whole idea of incorporating guests and what they're watching, what you're watching. That's really cool. Go ahead, Melissa Joan Hart. I love that.
Thank you. I love it. It's just a safe space to have fun conversations, whether it's my husband coming on or my mom talking about how we started Sabrina as executive producers, or recently we had my sister on to talk about her role on Sabrina. She played my cousin Amanda. And so we had her on to just talk about her experience as a little girl on the show. And so we're having a lot of fun with it.
Mm-hmm. So for future colleagues of yours in the industry who might be on the fence about doing Masked Singer, I know you were scared, but you were brave. You did it. It's done and it's out there. What tips would you give them for joining the Masked Singer?
It was wonderful. I think in every level, the crew was so supportive, and you just got to go there with a good sense of humor and just get a kick out of it. I'm not trying to like launch a country career here in Nashville or anything. I just want to have fun. And, it's one of the perks of my job that I get to go on Wheel of Fortune and win $1 million for charity, or I get to go be on Dancing with the Stars. And being on Masked Singer, I mean, when am I ever going to get that opportunity again? So I think when a challenge like that is in front of you, and you have an opportunity like that, you just grab it.
I love that. That's cool. Well, I'm for sure going to get involved with What Women Binge because I need new stuff too. I need to find out what's
Thank
going on. Congratulations to you. Way to cross it off the bucket list and
Thanks.
conquer a new fear. And you are a hero. Thank you for
Thank
being yourself and being brave in all aspects of your life. I appreciate you spending some time with me.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Hi,
Well, how are you today?
I'm great, thanks. How are you doing?
I am excellent. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
Congratulations on your appearance on The Masked Singer. The Masked Singer, I had such a good time talking to the contestants over the last few seasons and people's reactions of what it meant to them personally as artists, as athletes. And your reaction in particular was so touching to me about how this was an opportunity for you to get out and play the piano like no one else has done before, and how it personally was just so fun and freeing for you. Could you speak more about what it meant to you to participate this season as Dandelion? And the costume was fire too.
Thank you. When I was first invited to be on the show, I I didn't have to think for a second before I said yes, because the opportunity to not only get to sing these iconic songs, but to do so from behind a mask where the only thing that is that the only tool I have to connect to the people is my voice. That sounded not only like a lot of fun, but really profound. When I first decided to be brave enough to start sharing my own music in a public way, it was that made me want to do it. I feel like I can be more myself through a song than I like. There's always a bit of a stiltedness I feel when I'm trying to use my words to have a conversation with somebody. And to just break it down to a song, it means something different to everyone who hears it. And I wanted to know what that would feel like. And it was more than I ever imagined in a million years. I was so emotional and so tearful at the end of each of those performances, because it's like a dream, like you're in a dream, but you somehow get to the other end and then you're flying. It's such a high. Something I'll never ever forget now going forward with this EP release that's coming and the shows I'm about to play. Everything about it is kind of life changing.
Wow. Wow. What do you think it is about music that connects people in a way that other forms of art cannot? You know, when I think of all the concerts and all the celebrations I've gone to and just watching just all sorts of people just swaying back and forth and being in the moment, and what is that connectivity, do you think?
Music is something that we each have a relationship to that is unlike any relationship we have with a person or a memory. We listen to music in our most private moments. You know, we have we have music playing in our car. We have those songs that we sing along to every day that maybe we wouldn't blast for all the world to hear, but the song means something to us. It gets us going for the day. It gets us through a tough time. It gets us through the loss of a loved one. You feel them close to you again through the power of a song. So what I love is when I play a show, or in this once in a lifetime experience on The Masked Singer, I'm like, Over the Rainbow is a song I've loved since I was a tiny child. It's kind of been on a little loop in my head many days. And I know that that song means something different to each person who hears it. But everyone in that room was having a shared experience. So the way I look at it, music brings everyone closer to each other, whether they know it or not. And those people in that room are probably from all different walks of life, all different personal backgrounds, all different political beliefs and convictions and what have you. But for that one moment, if everyone is swaying and everyone's listening to the same voice and they enjoyed it, then they have that in common.
I'm getting chills just listening to you, but just like the passion that you're speaking about, and it's so beautiful. Tell me about Witness. Tell me about, that the courage to share after experiencing loss and all of the other things that you've experienced over the past year, and having that courage to channel all that into Witness.
I feel like Witness, the idea for Witness found me. It arrived in my head, just the first line of it, will you be my witness, and the melody. It arrived as I was really in the thick of that unimaginable challenge and that very hard time that I experienced last year. And I was thinking of, when you go through something like that, if someone said you're going to go through this in a few months, you would probably think I couldn't survive that. But then you have to. You don't have a choice. It's what God has placed in front of you, so you have to go through it. And I found that it also drew me much closer to my dearest friends, the ones who I know have my back. But it brought us closer in ways I couldn't have predicted. And I think I'm now closer to them as well. They know what I've been through on a level that most people in public do not know. And I also know what they're going through on a much deeper level than I think I did before. So it's about the fact that we all have this life in front of us, and when you get through something you didn't know if you could, you come out forever changed and much stronger. And I wanted to write a song that would also unite all of those who had gone through a similarly unimaginably hard time, and kind of be their witness as well.
Mm-hmm. That's really, all of that is really, really beautiful. Just even from the titling, because there's such an absence of being seen in our culture. It's all kind of homogenized, and people want to be seen and appreciated and also comforted when they're experiencing these difficult times. So with that, and calling it Witness and embarking on this EP, do you have a vision of how you would like to shift people's lives, your career, your music? Will this represent a shift for you? What goals and expectations do you have for it?
I sense that it's, in a way, this all represents a rebirth and a next chapter. I think it's connecting with people is the whole reason I make music. It's why I started making music, and playing characters also. It's why I love not only doing lighter things like the Christmas movies, but also I love to play really dark, complicated characters, because I think it helps on some level for maybe people to have understanding of why a dark person or somebody that does horrible things might do those things. if I can make a difficult character more understandable, then maybe it helps make a difference in the world on some level. So I've always loved that. But all of these things together, the Masked Singer coinciding with the release of this music coming on the heels of what I've gone through and come out the other side of, that was going to change me anyway. And focus the reason for me doing everything from this point onward. But the fact that it's all coming together at the same time feels divine. It feels like it's no accident. I got the invitation to be on The Masked Singer as I was coming out of anesthesia for my breast reconstruction surgery.
Wow. Wow.
So I knew that was divine timing. It could have come in any other day, but it came in that moment. So rebirth is what it is. And next.
Serendipity. Wow. I am so, Alicia, you are a vision and an angel and just so gifted and talented. I enjoyed this run. I'm so excited. Enjoyed your single, had a chance to listen to it, and looking forward to seeing your EP and just what this rebirth looks like for you and your life. We are the same age, you know, our birthdays, I looked up your birthday, we're like months apart. So I feel like I am on a similar journey as well. So this was, it was very, very beautiful to watch you share this and experience this with you. And please keep doing that and keep creating, because this is a magical time for us in our age range to do whatever we want to do. And, you know, I'm probably not going to be doing The Masked Singer, but I'm hoping to do rebirthing type of ideas in my own life as well. So this is awesome.
It's wonderful to hear. Yes, it does have to do partly with the age we're at as well. That's a profound thing you just said. It's, yeah, this is a powerful age. Powerful age.
It's awesome. Well, I thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you and thank you again.
Thank you. What a joy to talk to you.
Take care.
You too. Bye.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.